Well, hello, I hope you are having a great day today. If you know it, say it with me. I got my coffee. I got my Bible. Of course, I have all of you. Today is National Take Your Houseplant for a Walk Day. I've never seen anybody do that, but if you're a houseplant person, praise the Lord. Take your sunflower for a walk or your fern for a walk, whatever, and have a nice day. Welcome to Acts chapter 24. And we are going to jump into this today because I really feel like that we're on this journey as we're finishing up the book of Acts. And to me, you really could sum up this last few chapters as just seizing opportunities, because Paul is just getting one opportunity after another, and this one is no different. Paul is now in front of one of the highest Roman officials in the area, and he's there, and the Jewish people have an opportunity to go and say something, against him, and they do. And then Paul replies, and he says this in Acts 24, verse 14. It says, "But I admit that I follow the way, which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets." So in other words, what he's saying is guilty as charged. They're saying that I worship Jesus. I do. I worship Jesus. And I think about this opportunity that Paul has. He's in a place he'd rather not be, but it's given him a wonderful opportunity. And it makes me think of this quote by a guy named Leonard Ravenhill, who used to say, "Seize the opportunity of a lifetime during the lifetime of the opportunity." And right here where this is, Paul could have looked at this as a horrible situation. I mean, these people he's on trial, and he has these accusers who are coming against him, wanting for him to be put to death. And so Paul could have been trying to mount a defense and say, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to save my life and all this and all that. But instead of looking at this as a horrible thing, and as something, that he'd rather be somewhere else, Paul's going, wait a minute, I've got an opportunity. I mean, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this, but I'm not going to let this opportunity pass without trying to serve God in some kind of way. And that made me think of a situation in my life several years ago. I was wanting to serve God in ministry, and I was trying to, but I wasn't having a lot of opportunities. And I was really wanting this particular job that I thought was going to give me an opportunity to serve God and do ministry, but it wasn't available. And at that point, my girls were both really small, and I had to get a job, right? So I wanted to do ministry. I wanted this job that was going to give me the chance to do ministry, but I couldn't. They just wasn't working out, but I had to have a job. So I went and took this job that I'm telling you, when I say I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to do it. But how many of you know out there, when you've got a family to feed, you're going to do what's necessary, right? So I went and took this job, and I mean, I hated it so bad. I would get up in the morning, and and I'm just being honest, I would be in tears all the way to this job. I didn't want to be there. I didn't like it. I didn't like what I was having to do. I wasn't trying to get to know anybody. I was just minding my business. It was horrible. And then one day, I just realized, you know what, God? What if I never get my chance to do anything else? What if I stay here the rest of my life? What if? What if I took this, instead of it being the worst thing possible, and what if I said, you know what? I'm just going to grow where I've been planted. I'm just going to do the best I can with what I have. And I wish I could tell you I did it with a glad heart. No. I did it as almost a surrender. It was like, I guess I'm never going to get a chance to do anything else. I might as well, right? Well, that was what I did. I went and I just said, you know what? I'm going to grow where I've been planted. And I just, for the first time, literally, since I started working there, I kind of, opened my eyes and looked around. And I didn't just see other people working in the doldrums, I saw people. I saw people who were hurting. I saw people who were kind of in the situation I was in, who'd rather not be there, but that's where they were. And it turned out, as I started talking to people, there were several people who had some past experiences a lot like mine. So I was able to speak into their life and speak the hope of God into their life. And what went from being a terrible situation that I didn't want to be at became a terrible situation I didn't want to be at that I was able to make a difference in. And I was able to start speaking life to people and speaking into people's situations and praying with people there at work. And it just turned into this place where right before God opened the next door for me to do something different, I was actually looking forward to going to work because I had developed some friendships. I developed some devotion time with people. We were doing life together and people were moving forward in their relationship with God, and I was able to be part of that. And even though I would have rather been anywhere else, God was using me right in the middle of that difficult situation. And I'm just curious, maybe in your life, and we were talking about this yesterday, and it's going to kind of be the theme for the next few days. Are you in a situation you'd rather not be in? Can I encourage you to do something to learn from my mistakes? And that is, instead of spending all of your time praying that God will get you out of it, take a few moments and say, God, what would you like for me to do while I'm here? Because here's the thing, God knows you. He has a plan for your life. He's going to use you to do whatever it is He's called you to do. And so if you're in a place that you know you're not supposed to be, don't worry. He's going to get you out of it. But while you're there, why not make the biggest difference that you can? You know why? Because you can. Because you have what it takes. And we need you to be the greatest example of grace that the people around you have ever seen. And that brings me hope that even in the darkest places, God can still use us. And that's what that meant to me. And I don't know what this chapter is going to mean to you. I want to know in the comments below, how did this chapter speak to you? And I'll tell you what I do know, that is that God loves you more than you understand. He's for you more than you realize. You're probably doing better than you realize. Say it with me, because you got up one more day. You know what else I know? God has not changed His mind about you. And if no one else has told you today, I love you so much. I hope you have a great day. I can't wait to see you right here tomorrow on Daily Hope.